All right, we're working on a TT-R90. Customer brought this vehicle in, and vehicle only runs on the choke. His kid is complaining that the carburetor is sticking as well. Kid doesn't really want to ride it. We removed the carburetor off the bike, and this is what we have right here. So this is a super simple, common problem. I already kind of know what's wrong with it from the get-go, just from the symptoms. But you can tell this carburetor is pretty dirty. We got some excess buildup, carb leakage. Overall, carb probably does need to get rebuilt, cleaned out, rebuilt. So let's break into it real quick. I can tell you right off the bat, I know exactly what's wrong with it. We see these problems all the time. Our shop here in North Carolina is one of the only shops that really actually works and builds carburetors on a daily basis. So when we come across carburetors that have issues such as only runs on choke, that's letting me know that there's some type of fueling issue going on. And with bad fuel, there could be a myriad of things, but the first thing that jumps into my mind is the mixture circuit, the pilot mixture circuit. Something's not happening there correctly, hence why we need to run it on choke. So we're gonna bust this apart. As you can see, it's a little bit dirty on the inside. That's letting me know right off the bat, gas probably sat in here for a while. Modern fuel with alcohol, the fuel does varnish really quick. It's important that if the vehicle is if it's a kid's bike and it's gonna sit for a little bit of time, run some fuel stabilizer in it. Maxima has a really beautiful, great product, fuel enhancer. We put that on all kinds of our bikes and products. In fact, actually, once I get this rebuilt and cleaned and put back together, we're gonna drop some fuel enhancer inside the tank and run it, and that way at least everything is going to be back to the way it should be. But if you can tell, we're going to work on this real quick. So we got our main jet right here. Main jets only really come alive at wide open throttle, 3/4 to wide open throttle. So if you're grabbing your throttle and you're at 75%, that's when this main jet's really going to turn on. It's going to turn on from that to wide open throttle. They're not having issues with wide open throttle. It's not backfiring. It's not, there's no loss of power. So we're going to completely omit that. The next thing that jumps into mind, which I know this is going to be the case, is this little jet right here. That's your pilot mixture jet. This is actually going to control idling and right off idle. This is a very important jet because as the carb is trying to idle or get off and out of idle, this is what's actually going to allocate the amount of fuel it needs to run. So let's go ahead and pop this bad boy off, and I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, I know this bad boy's clogged. From appearance wise, doesn't look like anything. If we were to shoot some air into there, I bet you it's clogged. I'm just going to do a little quick mouth test real quick. I just blew air into it with my mouth, 100% clogged. There's no way any fuel is getting through this. So this is 90% of the problems we see on carburetors, no questions asked, 100%. This is everybody's problem, is pilot mixture. With that being said, if you have idling issues, lumpy idle, doesn't want to idle, you always need choke, I would definitely rip open your carburetors and blame this little fellow. They do look a little bit different, bouncing between carburetors, but for the most part, it is going to be a smaller secondary jet in the bottom of your carburetor. But once again, if you got a little dirt bike TT-R90 or anything equivalent, PW50, and for some reason only wants to run on choke, drop that float bowl, pull this guy out. It's definitely clogged. I can tell you that without a shadow of a doubt. So that's it for this carburetor. We're going to rebuild it. We're going to clean it, strip it, rebuild it, and get it back in the customer's hands. Stay tuned for more videos. We're definitely going to post a lot more carb stuff.